some Earth, Wind, and Fire as well before we went down on the field.
They're trying to get it started right now.
Yeah, the band right now is playing some Let's Get It Started, courtesy of the Black Eyed Peas. I see a lot of the Granada fans here with the Go Granada Thunder Sticks. We talk about the thunder and lightning from Foothill, but Granada has some thunder of their own. So here we go, back from the timeout, 3rd and 10. Looking to pass is Foothill near side, and he misfires there, intended for Javon Williams, that receiver we were talking about, who looks to get the ball, 6'2", 170, and Foothill looked to have his man Williams open. He rolled out to his left and just threw it a bit too far.
Tough play.
Bit too deep.
Play fake the counter inside to Richards, rolled left, throwing with his right hand, and just, I'd say maybe a foot or two too high for the big 6'2" wide receiver.
Well, you're looking at about a 36-yard field goal if they attempt that, but most high schoolers will not go for that. They're going to just intended to go for it, and they're going to get the first. They're going to try to get the first down, if not a touchdown here. 4th and 10, the first 4th down we're seeing tonight out of both teams. Will they convert? 4th and 10 from the 19-yard line. Granada's Foothill, the quarterback, back to pass, and his pass is intercepted.
Intercepted. What a play.
I think that was Jameer Holland.
It sure was.
On the far side, coming up with the interception, stepped right in front of what looked to be an out route pass.
No, that one is number 20, Mendonca.
Okay, so it was the other starting quarterback, that being Mendonca.
Mendonca, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, Nick, he stepped right in front of that pass over on the left sideline, got 2 feet in. What an interception. Big play. Bench but didn't break.
Yeah, that's it. The senior defensive back coming up large. And so now Foothill's offense will come back out onto the field for their second time tonight. 2:56 left to go in the first quarter. Foothill enjoying a 7-0 lead. It's a quick strike to the sophomore, Isaiah Langley, who tries to stiff arm and spin his way out of a tackle there, but cannot do so. But Isaiah Langley showing some speed. He picks up the first down.
More quick slants, quick hitters out of Foothill. They're opening drives with that. A lot of first down, quick slants from them so far. I think at least 3 or 4.
And one thing I've noticed is Kearns, yes, he has a quick release, but he does also get some pretty good help up front from his line. His line looks like this. The left side is going to be Perry Cheney and Colin Dalporto, both, Perry Cheney, a junior, Dalporto, a senior. The center is Johan Bolt, a junior. Will Theophanopoulos, the right guard, and Eric Gallagher, the right tackle, both juniors. And a pass intended for Ray Hudson is caught right in front of us here in the booth. Ray Hudson, all you got to do is just throw it up there and he'll come up with it.
It's same thing again, much like his catch on the sideline as they were entering the red zone on their previous drive. This one to Kearns' right, just put it up there for the big number 11, the big senior, and he just ripped that thing away, went up over the defender and pulled it down.
Yeah, at 6'4", he's going to go up against a lot of cornerbacks and win that battle, and he does there. Like you said, ripping it out of the defensive back's hands. And Isaiah Langley lets one drop out of his hands. The ball is picked off by Granada, and so now a change in momentum.
First down.
Turnover for Foothill in their second offensive possession of the game. A quick strike to Isaiah Langley. He wasn't ready for it from his quarterback, Kyle Kearns. It deflects off his hands into the air for an easy pick as a Granada Matador defensive back was sitting right there.
They were. Another attempt on a first down quick slant. Looked like Langley tried to take off before he had that thing, took his eyes off of it. And Johnny on the spot right there for the interception. I believe that was number 24 on the pick of the Granada Matadors.
So that being Brandon Self. Yes, he is one of the starting cornerbacks for this Matadors team. And so the Matadors offense back out onto the field. Twin set there, far side. Foothill looking to pass, and he sails that one.
Yeah, that one well covered by Jameer Holland. Tried to go to Javon Williams again.
So Foothill has looked a little off if you take the first 3 letters in his last name. That's what you'd say. That's what it would be there. And Foothill just really having a hard time grasping his throws tonight.
Yeah, that one a little wobbly as he tried to go down the right sideline. Wasn't much there either. Probably not the best decision.
But then again, this is an offense that is used to running the ball. So when he does pass, maybe he's not ready for it. He is only a junior. And
Granados on the carry there, right up the gut. Again, running out of that wing tee. They do the motion. This time go to the fullback. Look like about a gain of 4 on the play, 3.5-ish roughly, Michael?
Yeah. It's going to be 3 to be, at least that's what the scoreboard operator has, so it's going to be 3rd and 7. But, yeah, talk about Foothill taking the place of Jeremy Mata. Mata, who was the quarterback for the last couple years here at Granada.
Back in the shotgun this time.
Foothill in the shotgun, and he is looking for a receiver. He finds it. It's caught.
Boy, what a tackle by number 88 of Foothill. He had his man. That's a good pass that time by Foothill, but short of the first down, didn't get to the sticks. And a great tackle. Is that Darrell Adams, number 80, on the stop there for Foothill?
Yes, it was Darrell Adams on the stop. A quick curl route there for the Granada Matadors that I believe went into the hands of Soltis.
Yeah, needed 7, only got 5 there. None of the deeper options were open.
Granada forced to punt. And it's a nice deep punt in which Ray Hudson is going to try to walk to make an effort to receive it, but instead he's just going to let it roll out of bounds.
Excellent.
And it rolls
perfect corner kick.
Just near the 10-yard line. Stopping the clock with 44 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Definitely a good job, first of all, to keep the ball away from Hudson, but to execute the perfect corner kick, the coffin kick they used to call it, trapping them inside the 10.
So Foothill's defense doing a good job of not letting the Granada Matadors get into the end zone. They have stopped them twice now. And not even getting on the board at all. No field goal attempts neither.
It has at least forced Foothill to start from deep in their own end of the field.
Yes. Foothill will start at their own 10-yard line with the receiver split far out to each side. And it's Kearns throwing it out to Langley.
Another quick hitch on first down. I think the Granada Matadors are going to have to get up and press a little bit on first down. They're just giving them way too much room on these quick hitches and slants.
Yeah, they're just letting these receivers really run amok on them.
Yep, 8-yard gain. That's going to end the first.
And that will end the first quarter. So, well, not so fast, my friend. 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Yeah, they're just going to
trot off.
Trot off to the sidelines. Good word there. That's exactly what they do to let the clock run out here at Granada Stadium. 7-0 is your score, as that will end the first quarter of play here in what is homecoming for the Granada Matadors. And so we'll take a timeout, folks. Foothill Falcons up on top, the visiting team leading 7-0 over the hometown Granada Matadors here in Livermore, California.
Folks, you can follow PlayOn Sports on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us on PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
All right, thank you, Tim. Tim Fitzgerald here. Vincent Huergas is our videographer. And the man producing all of this, Zach Farmer, couldn't do it without him.
Thank you, Zach.
Second quarter starting here in Livermore.
Cam Griffith.
And Foothill was facing a 2nd and 1 to start the second. And they give the ball to Griffith Gates, the powerful fullback.
Yep, again to Griffith. Good feet. You're absolutely right, Michael. He has good vision, good feet. He's not just a plotter.
No, he really has the total package. Surprised that he really hasn't had a bevy of offers yet at this point. The latest word we've heard from their coaching staff is that my alma mater, Sacramento State, has offered him something, as well as a couple Ivy League schools such as Brown. 1st and 10 for the Falcons at their own 25-yard line. Quick slant to Ray Hudson. And Ray Hudson, with his reliable soft hands, makes the catch once again.
Big target, just shielding away the corner. Nothing he could really do about it there.
Yeah, John Evans, the quarterback coach for Foothill, telling us that Griffith Gates could also walk on at UCLA, but you'd always like to go where you want to go where the team that wants you. I mean, I know UCLA more the higher profile college, but hey, if you have a chance to get a scholarship and then some, You got to look into that. So 2nd and 4
Absolutely.
after the 6-yard gain from Holland. And once again, another quick strike to Isaiah Langley. And Langley makes sure to haul it in and pick up the first down. And Langley doing a really good job of, once he gets it, putting on some kind of move, even if it's just a little head nod, doing something to get the defender off of him.
He has slipped the first guy most times on these slants. Another one. And again, just taking advantage of the coverage that's there by Kearns.
Yeah, on one of these catches, I'm telling you, if he keeps doing that, he's going to break free. He almost broke free on one in the first quarter. And now the referees blowing their whistle.
Official timeout, yeah.
As they're checking out some things on the field here. And now
clock, okay.
Play resuming. Foothill getting the ball out to their own 47-yard line, just shy of half field. Midfield, I should say. And it's Jameer Holland.
Going up the middle with Holland this time.
Yeah, going up the middle and getting tripped up after a gain of about 4.
A lot of balance from this Foothill team so far, balancing the passing and the running. Good rhythm, like you said, in the first quarter. It's continuing here as we start the second.
And as good as Gates has been offensively, or what he can do offensively, it's more what he's going to do defensively at the next level. That's where he's really being pursued to be an in-betweener, as they will.
Yeah, also a linebacker.
And it's Kearns with a fade route, far side.
Too high for Hudson this time. You knew it threw it high if it's too high for him.
Yeah, that's right. It's 6'4". If he can't come up with it, yeah, that pass is definitely too high.
Tried that same fade down the right sideline. This time, a little too much air under it.
I used to have that gripe with my quarterback, but here I was 5'4". I was a whole foot shorter.
Yeah, they used to yell at me for that, yeah. Get taller, Tim.
Yeah, right? So an incomplete pass now makes 3rd and 7 for the Falcons. Ball at their own 49-yard line. Twin set here left side with Hudson and Langley. And Kearns
sack.
Waited too long to get that ball out. He was looking to the near side here towards us and was looking a bit too long as he was trying to wait for Hudson or Langley to get open before firing the ball. And in that time, Granada's front defense, their front 4, got up and made sure to wrap him up for a sack.
Lutz on the sack. Slow developing play, deep drop, not a lot open. Good coverage this time by Granada, and Lutz was able to bring him down.
So now Granada's defense with 2 straight stops, an interception a series ago, and this time now forcing Foothill to punt the ball.
Really needed these stops before the momentum got way too much on the other side.
Punt nearly blocked by
another good low roller
by Derek Granados.
Hitting him inside the 20 again. Good special teams at least here tonight by Granada.
And it's Ray Hudson, the man who punted that ball, the receiver that we've talked about in this game. And like you said, a good punt as he gets the Matadors, pins him down into the
Foothill. Yeah, each team showing some good punting ability here.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal. The third phase, we don't talk about it enough, but
sure.
that can change an entire game.
Well, speaking of, Sweeney talked about that after last week's loss to special teams. He said, or loss to De La Salle. He said his special teams has got to get better if they're going to be a force in the North Coast Section playoffs this year.
That was how De La Salle did most of their damage in that game, was on special teams.
Yeah, they allowed that big kickoff return in that game.
So Granada's going to take over at their 14 on this one.
And they get some help as there was an encroachment penalty called against Foothill. So 1st and 5.
Boy.
And it's Matt Richards who gets tackled.
Shields
for
again.
A loss of yards there.
Shields, number 34. He's having a great game so far tonight. And they're making another stop.
Yeah, Shields is one of those guys that they're going to rely upon. Senior at the linebacker position for Foothill. He'll be joined by Perry Cheney alongside Jack Finney as well. Those are the linebackers for Foothill. We'll get you caught up on some of their defenders along with the Granada offense. We need to talk about the rest of their key players on offense. O'Phil getting away from pressure, steps up, and then misfires a ball that was just out of the reach of his intended target there, that being Kyle Campiotti.
Yeah. Granada again trying to set up their passing off their run game. Play action rollouts. And Foothill just a little behind him.
Footill's line in front of him looks like this. It's Cal Tarbert, the left tackle at the senior position, 6'2", 290. Left guard will be Victor Mitchell, the junior. At center, Dakota Mendez, a senior. And then the right guard is Zach Sturgill, one of the captains on this team, 6 foot, 200-pound senior. And the right tackle, Jesse Martinez, also a senior. And Foothill looking deep down the middle of the field for Javon Williams. And once again, Footill's pass is too far for his target. So tonight, Foothill has really just not had it.
Yeah, struggling with his accuracy again tonight. This one too high. Overshooting Williams again. And again, 2 defenders near there. That would have been a tough completion in any way, shape, or form. Kind of just trying to get rid of it there, too.
So 4th and 9 from 12. It's a no-doubt situation for a punt here for Granada. And the snap was nearly high. Luckily, the punter brought it back down, but that play is going to get stopped in progress as there was a false start going against the Matadors. So they're going to be backed up 5 more yards and then attempt the punt again.
Making the situation even more dangerous for themselves here.
4th and 14 now for the Matadors, who are backed up to their own 7-yard line. Punting the ball is going to be Matthew Dramalis.
Handled that high snap well, at least last time. This one dead on.
And Dramalis, a low punt with not a lot of movement that takes a forward roll.
It sure did. A very fortuitous bounce for Foothill. Tried to keep it away from Hudson, but it bounced backwards.
And Jacob Lutz makes sure to get down on the ball in a hurry before it could go any bit closer for Foothill towards the end zone. So the clock stops with 8 minutes and 6 seconds now left here in the second quarter. Falcons clinging to a 7-0 lead at the moment. They are the visiting team, like I said, coming into this game 3-3 overall, 1-2 in league play. Their one victory is one of the upsets heard around the East Bay. That is when they knocked off Monta Vista at home on September 21st. They won 21-14, and that was the only game in which head coach Matt Sweeney felt that his team did have a good special teams game. Griffith Gates will get the ball here on the first carry. And Gates in between the right guard and right tackle there, picking up 2 yards on the run.
Granada doing a much better job here in this second quarter of plugging up the middle.
They are stuffing the run on the Matadors. Their defense in general has just been playing great ball after the first drive in this game in which Foothill scored. They've really locked down on the Falcons.
Yeah, they did gather themselves well after really getting marched on in the opening series.
2nd and 8, quick hitter. It's a running back swing play to Jameer Holland, in which Kearns completes that with ease, and Jameer Holland does the rest.
Yeah, one of Foothill's main plays there, trying to get Jameer out in space and use that speed, the lightning.
Jameer Holland, only a junior. Not much attention right now, at least from colleges, but at least at all the combines, he has done pretty well. Under Armour Combine, ran a 4.9 40-yard dash, had a vertical jump of 25 inches. Broad jump of 9 inches and 1 centimeter.
Foothill going to burn their first time out here in this first half. Driving again, though. 1st and 10.
Actually, the broad jump 9 yards and a foot, I believe, is how they would measure that. And so a timeout called from the Falcons this time around. Foothill taking their first timeout with 7 minutes and 23 seconds left. The first down on that running back swing route to Holland gets them into Granada territory at the 26-yard line of the Matadors.
I'm impressed with Kearns so far. Very settled. Definitely has that sort of wide-eyed kid look to him still as the new guy, but he's displaying a lot of accuracy.
Yeah, Kyle Kearns, who is under tutelage of the famed quarterback guru Roger Theater. He's helped coach Kearns since Kearns was in the 7th grade.
Wow.
And you talk about a list of some of the guys that Theater has helped coach. Jim Plunkett, a Super Bowl MVP. Also Colin Kaepernick with the 49ers. Yep. And, of course, one of the best high school players last year, not only in the East Bay, in California, and in the nation, but Zach Klein, who is at Cal right now.
Stuffed up the middle.
Yeah, Jameer Holland, the recipient of the swing route a play ago, gets the handoff and gets tackled for a loss of 3 yards.
Big number 54. Again, Granada stuffing the runs up the middle.
It'll be 2nd and 13 now for the Falcons. Clock under 7 minutes here left to play in the first half. Falcons trying to get a 2-score lead. Right now they have a 7-0 advantage on the Granada Matadors. 2 backs in the backfield for for Kearns. Kearns looking far sideline. It is complete. There is a flag on the field. But it is Ray Hudson who comes down with the ball and in the end zone.
Yeah, flag is in the backfield, though, holding. They'll bring this back.
Yeah, number 54 for Granada, that being Julian Buenrostro.
Yeah, who made the stop on the last tackle.
Very exaggerated, waving of the hand saying, hey, refs, that's back on Foothill. Back them up, and that is the case. It will be a holding call against the Falcons.
Going to set up a 2nd and very long.
So Ray Hudson's touchdown reception is negated.
That fade to him again, boy. He just went up and got it. Extremely difficult to defend. I'm glad I'm not having to deal with that.
Yeah.
I would hate to be one of these Granada corners tonight.
Yeah, he is a tough guy to guard. He will more than likely become a tight end at the college level for Cal.
Yeah, he's got the size for it, that's for sure.
So it'll now be 2nd and 22. A very, very long situation for the Falcons. Pass is tipped in the air.
Yep. Deflected at
by
the line.
a Matador defender.
Tried the slant again.
I think that
Tried to go to Langley.
I think that was Jacob Lutz, a la J.J. Watt, if you will.
He's got that down to a science.
3 swatted balls in one game against the New York Jets this past Monday night. I thought it was funny when Stuart Scott called him J.J. Swat. I mean, that was like the perfect
it's built in right there for him.
For him. So the swat down ball there on the incomplete pass now makes 3rd and 26.
Expecting something conservative out of Foothill here. They do have a trips formation to the right, though.
Yeah, the 4 receivers in all with only Gates, the runner in the backfield. Kearns gets hit hard.
Boy, they're going to
upon throwing that pass, and I think
they're
the refs are going to call a personal foul. Yeah, they're going to say roughing the passer there.
Boy, I don't know if on Jacob Lutz. I don't know if I agree with this one. I guess they're saying he drove him into the ground. But boy, it just seemed like he followed through on his tackle attempt. He can't pull up in the middle of a tackle.
Especially when it was bang, bang like that.
Sure.
He was releasing the ball as Jacob Lutz was tackling him, was Kearns. It wasn't like Kearns released the ball and then out of nowhere Lutz pounded him to the ground. So this is an interesting call if they decide to make it. And actually it's a pass interference call. So Jacob Lutz was fine in what he did, but there must have been some holding downfield.
Yeah, because there was a flag thrown in the backfield right next to the tackle.
That's why we were thinking it was roughing the passer.
But there is one downfield as well. You would think that these would negate each other, but that is not the case. Or rather, they would both be on Granada, so they're going to accept the bigger penalty.
That's exactly what the case is. So it'll be an automatic first down now for the Falcons. Ball all the way down to inside the 30-yard line at about the 28 of Granada. 3 receivers set, a quick pass out far right to Langley, who then fumbles the ball. And so Langley puts it on the turf. He is responsible now for 2 turnovers for the Foothill Falcons offensively.
Did it haul in one of those quick hitters earlier that turned into a pick? This time carried the ball a little low. Got it stripped right out by the Granada defense.
And so Langley has to be shaking his head, but at the same point cannot be shaking his head too long. He has to have quick memory as he's a key cog out on the defensive side of things.
And they're going to keep going to him on offense, too. Again, Granada forced to start deep in their own end.
And so Granada starting deep from their own territory at their own 15-yard line. And it's a give to the right side towards us.
Granados right up the middle. Again, they send Richards in motion. He's going to go in motion a lot in this wing tee offense. And the handoff right up the gut. And I think it's important for Granada to be patient here in this game. Still a little over 5.5 minutes left in the half. They've only allowed the one score, have forced some turnovers. They just need to keep running their offense.
A 4-yard pickup from Richards on the previous play makes for 2nd and 6.
We get an offsides here on Foothill.
Yeah, maybe an encroachment against the defense. And yes, it will be an encroachment against Foothill. That's their 2nd encroachment penalty of the game.
Yep.
Brings him within a yard of picking up a first down as the 5-yard penalty to make now 2nd and 1 for the Matadors at their own 23-yard line. They still have some time, 5 minutes, 29 seconds left to go before the half, and they will be getting the ball after the halftime break. And it's Richards who gets the ball on the right side and then counters it to the left.
Yeah, try to toss there on 2nd and 1. Not sure that's the call to make with just a yard to go.
And Richards' helmet comes off. Actually make that Casey Soltis.
Number 22, yeah.
The running back on the play whose helmet comes off. Richards was on the sideline, so Casey Soltis.
He'll check in for him now, Richards will.
And I don't know if it's protocol in high school to have to miss a play once the helmet comes off, but I know in college it is because when I'm at the Cal games, they make note of it every time.
Yeah, looked like he got poked in the eye on that one too. He came out grimacing.
And Soltis did pick up the first. No, he got back to the original line of scrimmage, and they try running the ball again to pick up the first down here on a 3rd and 1.
This one right to the sticks.
The Falcons defense was on it.
And this game's getting a little chippy.
Well, Coach Sweeney, he forecasted that game when talking to the Bay Preps interview, Pat O'Rourke. Yep. He said that this was going to be a fist fight between these two teams. Both teams like to rough it up and get a little physical, and that's what Sweeney said was going to go down here tonight, a fist fight. And we haven't literally seen a fist fight, if you will, with guys just duking it out and seeing an all-out brawl. But
we do have some late unnecessary roughness on this play, though. 15 yards tacked on for Granada.
So Foothill letting emotions get the best of them. It's going to be 1st and 10 now for Granada at their own 40-yard line. And it's Richards getting the ball.
Sweep to Richards, yep.
Yeah, sweep there to the right side towards us here in the booth, and there is a flag, and it's going to be an easy holding call against the Granada Matadors.
Jack Finney sniffed that out. He really got to him, got to Richards, slowed him down. All for naught anyway with the holding call.
So just when you received some big help after the other team takes it a bit too far on the field and then
give it right back.
The yards go right back due to a holding call. And head coach Tim Silva is probably saying, guys, we can't be doing this. We're killing ourselves right now.
And Granada's going to burn their final time out of the half. He wants to talk to them, try to calm them down a bit.
I think that is a great thing to do right now.
Yep.
Both teams, I think, need a timeout, and
Indeed.
It's Granada's coach being the man to call it. He burns his final timeout here with 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first half.
Shows how important that was to him there. To burn your last one with 4.5 minutes to go, trying to drive here before the half. He's feeling his team is maybe losing its cool a bit.
Granada, who is yet to put together a scoring drive. They're hoping they can do so before the first half comes to an end. They are down 7-0 with 4 minutes and 35 seconds left to play. It is homecoming night for the Granada Matadors, so a very loud and spirited crowd, all black and gold. And they even added some bleacher seats along the north end zone where some fans are sitting.
Black and gold with a touch of pink from the cheerleaders in front of us for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You got to love that. And so we're back. It's going to be 1st and 22 for the Granada Matadors. And it's Foothill having to roll out to his right to escape from pressure from the Foothill Falcons defense, and he is brought down for a sack.
Tried to roll out left again. Cody Shields, though, again. Penetration into the backfield and just wrestles Foothill down.
Cody Shields, who last year was an All-East Bay Athletic League second-team linebacker.
He's working his way on being first team right now.
Yeah, he is. You talk about a couple of other starters. Parker Dalton, a starting defensive end, along with Griffith Gates. The nose guard, Johan Bolt. Colin Dalporto is a defensive tackle, along with Will Theophanopoulos. 2nd and 25 for the Matadors, and the Falcons once again flying fast to the ball.
Nowhere to go.
And nowhere to go for Brandon Self, the ball carrier there.
We're pretty much getting the game we expected, Michael. Very evenly matched, two very even teams. Just a 7-0 game so far, and the slugfest that we expected as well.
Yeah, this has been a slugfest. Two teams with great defenses.
Yep.
Matching it up, and that's what you're going to see, especially two teams with great defenses that predominantly like to run the ball, although we've seen Foothill drop back and throw the ball a lot tonight.
A lot of those first down passes, yeah, you're trying to use that, sort of flipping their script a bit, passing to set up the run.
And so now it's going to be 3rd and a mile.
And we got a flag.
For Granada, and it might become a 1.5 miles after that penalty. A false start penalty backs them up to make it 3rd and 30.
I think it might be in their best interest to hand off here.
3rd and 30 now for the Matadors.
Not too many plays in the playbook for this situation.
Twin set here to the near side. And there was 2 backs. One of those backs goes across with a slight motion to the left. That was Richards, and it is a sack. That being number 53, Nick Adams making the sack there.
Just blew around the right tackle. He seemed unready for that play.
I'm sorry, that was number 53, Johan Bolt, coming around and getting the sack.
And he bolted around that right side.
Yeah, making like Usain Bolt with his speed to get in the backfield there. 4th and 35, and Granada definitely going to punt here. This one a nice line drive punt with some movement there, end over end, but it is Hudson, and the punt went right to him, and so he was able to haul it in the air and then get a slight return out of it.
Dangerous punt right there, a low line drive directly to Hudson, a spiral in fact. He was able to pull it in, but he did have to reach up for it. More than anything though, great coverage by Granada.
Granada did have that one wrapped up and covered nicely. And the refs are going to call a hold, or actually a personal foul, against the Falcons.
That was number 60, Nathan Burke, getting down there on the tackle. Very impressive play.
Maybe a block in the back, if you will.
Yeah, perhaps that or a hold while the ball is in the air. What was that signal there, Michael?
I think it was a block in the back.
They called a block in the back? Okay.
Yeah, I believe it was a block in the back on the return. So that's a big penalty. That's a 15-yarder.
That's a field position tipper.
Yes, it is, as they were close to midfield, and now the ball will be backed up to just near the 35-yard line.
Foothill kept having great starting field position. Finally, they get backed up.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons, taking place from their own 36. It was a personal foul call against Nick Mendonça. First and 10 at the 36-yard line, and it's a fade route intended for Hudson from Kearns.
I thought
Hudson had to turn around to make the catch, an awkward turn there, and he couldn't make the catch, and Hudson shaking his head.
Kearns tried the back shoulder fade this time. Hudson not able to pull it in, tried to one-hand it with his right hand, turning around. I thought he got away with a bit of a push-off, too.
Yeah, Hudson a little disappointed with himself, as normally he would make that grab.
Yeah, it would have been spectacular, but he does the spectacular.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Falcons offense. Kearns looking to his right, then bringing the ball back down, and then just somehow throws it away. It's going to be a fumble.
Very careless with the football right there, Kearns. That's going to be Granada ball unless they rule this a forward pass.
Christian Palomo with the recovery for Granada. Or actually, that's going to be Nick Plachette, the starting nose tackle and captain for this Granada team.
Boy, if Foothill doesn't have the quick slant open and it takes longer, Granada is getting pressure. That's what they've been doing to avoid that Granada pressure, Foothill. A lot of quick slants. Refs having a little conference right now trying to decide if this is going to count as a forward pass or a fumble.
Well, there was also a flag as the fumble was occurring, so that might be on something totally different.
Yep.
And the flag looks to be against Granada.
A face mask.
A face mask penalty.
Didn't see it. Must have happened in the scrum as they tried to bring Kearns down.
Fans not particularly digging that call at the moment.
It's going to move them all the way out to the 48.5 roughly, Foothill zone 48.
And so now they're really getting loud. More to probably disrupt the refs here. Just a bit over 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. And Foothill getting some help after the face mask penalty. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Falcons at the 49-yard line, their own 49-yard line. It's Kearns with a 3-step drop, looking to the far side. And that one is a bit wide, intended for Isaiah Langley.
Yeah, tried to go with the pump and go. They faked the slant, the quick hitch that they've been running, pumped it, and then Langley took off downfield, but it was really well defended by number 24, Brandon Self.
Brandon Self
did not bite that pump fake.
A senior this year, one of the top newcomers to the team. And so it'll be 2nd and 10 with 3 receivers, but Holland's also kind of
deflected
in receiver
by
stance
Richards
in the backfield. And yes, the ball is not only deflected, but it is picked off by Matt Richard.
Another J.J. Watt moment. He read this screen. They tried the quickie out into the flat again to Jameer, and he deflected, read it, swatted it up, caught it. Got the trifecta. Read it, deflect, pick.
Matt Richards, who...
How about that on the defensive side?
Yeah, normally doesn't play a lot of defense, but he was in on that play and makes something happen. And, you know, when you got a guy who's probably your most talented player overall, that's what you do. You put him in there, and you let things kind of play itself out. And Matt Richards making a beautiful play, 2 steps.
Yeah,
not only does he deflect the ball in the air, but then he comes down with the interception as well. And this might be the momentum-changing play that Granada needed. 1st and 10 from the Foothill 45.
Another flag.
And flags are going to fly. It looks like a false start against the offense.
Delay of game.
Actually, it's going to be a delay of game.
Boy, Granada shooting themselves in the foot. They've had opportunities here. Yeah, putting Richards out there, it's a lot like having Cambiati out there. Get your most talented people on the field, especially when you need a big play.
Richards, who wanted to come back out onto the field, he has his helmet off at the moment, and he will stay put on the sidelines. It's going to be 1st and 15 for the Matadors. Javon Williams split wide left. And it's going to be Soltis in motion. They fake to Soltis. Ophil keeps it. He's rolling out to his right side, and he throws one right into the hands of Jack Finney, the linebacker for the Foothill Falcons, who is finally tackled.
More pressure by Foothill. Another bad read by Ophil.
Ophil right into the hands of Finney.
Rolling out again. He seems to be having, and that's what they run the most is the rollout pass off a play fake. Seems to be having trouble in his accuracy on these plays, though. Well,
he's having to roll out because of such great pressure up the middle from the Falcons' defense. So Foothill now in control of the clock with 1:40 and 2 timeouts.
Got another official timeout.
And so now we will resume play. The Falcons hanging on to their talons with a 7-0 lead right now. Kearns drops back, and it's a post route complete to Ray Hudson, who breaks away from some tackles, and he will jaunt his way into the end zone.
Boy, Kearns just slung that thing over the middle to Hudson, running an in route, stiff arms the potential tackler, and takes off. Nobody was going to catch him.
Ray Hudson on the jailbreak after catching that post. And he breaks free. A 51-yard touchdown reception for Ray Hudson and the Foothill Falcons. And there is a man down for the Granada Matadors.
Big catch and run by the future Cal Bear. One of the teams finally cashed in on one of the turnovers, and it's Foothill.
And we've yet to see who that is down on the field for Granada. The trainers are tending to him.
He's laying on his side, not able to see his number.
Kim Connors is the trainer for Granada, and we hope that everything is okay with the injured player there. A lot of Granada players down to a knee, and it is very quiet and somber here. How about this? We'll go to an announcement really quick while they're trying to sort this injury out. Folks, you're listening to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Yep, PlayOnSports.com. Not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
And how about you take it away with one more if you can?
You got it. For the postgame show. Stay tuned for that on the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our player of the game, as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
All right, thank you, Tim. So the score will remain. There's no doubt about it.
We do
51-yard reception is
we have
good.
the injured player sitting up, and it is the cornerback number 24.
Brandon Self.
Yeah, who made the great play earlier, but I think he's the recipient of the stiff arm from Hudson and got taken down.
And when you have a guy 6'4", giving you a stiff arm, 235 pounds, you better believe that's going to hurt. It's going to come with some force.
I think it was the landing on the ground that shook him up.
They do have the artificial turf here, that next turf surface, if you will.
The field turf, yeah.
Yeah, which does have some padding, but not a thick.
Yeah. When we were down on it earlier, it wasn't bad. Cushy enough. It is a good surface. But, boy, the force of that hit.
Nico Cuero's extra point attempt is good. And so the score now jumps to 14-0 with 1:30 left to play before the half. At the halftime break, we'll talk about a couple things. We'll talk about, of course, we'll kind of recap the scoring and what went on here in the first half. And then we'll talk about a couple stories. We'll talk about Matt Sweeney, who's enjoying his 26th season behind the helm with the Foothill Falcons.
Yeah.
And we'll also talk about some more of these guys. They're key guys, Griffith Gates and Ray Hudson, of course. But actually, one of the things I want to touch on is one of their former alums here. We talk about the alumni coming back for Granada, but it was one of Foothill's alums that had a very special day yesterday. Some of you might know who I'm talking about, but we will talk about him as he helped his team advance. Like I said, I don't want to blow it yet, but we will talk about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying not to give any key words here.
Sure. I don't know if he played football at Foothill. But
there's your next clue, folks.
He was a phenomenal baseball player and still is.
Yeah.
So Nico Cuero to kick off for the Falcons. And it's a high kick with not a lot of distance. It's taken by Granada.
Fair caught at the 20.
At their 20-yard line. Yes, it is fair caught. And so with 1:30 left, Granada will see if they can mount some kind of scoring drive to get on the board before the first half comes to a close.
Short high hanger there. Probably a good decision by Lutz to just fair catch that thing, let the offense get on the field.
As I mentioned earlier, Granada will come back from the halftime break to receive the second half opening kickoff there. First play here from this offensive possession.
We'll see if they try to run a quick tempo, maybe a no huddle.
By Granada, it goes to Casey Soltis, Cody Shields in on the tackle. Shields has been all over the place.
He is all over the place. Granada, though, is still huddling. I'm a little surprised with 1:10 to go.
An 8-yard pickup from Soltis now makes 2nd and 2 for Granada.
Right back to him.
And this time it's Granados getting the ball.
Oh, it is, yes.
And Tyler Granados picks up a first down, so the chains will move, but they've got to be quick here.
Yeah,
Maybe try to run a no-huddle offense.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the lack of urgency.
As now the clock dipping underneath a minute.
Especially with no timeouts left in this half.
And a new man onto the field for Granada. Actually, it's not a new man. It's just Tyler Ophil, the quarterback, who went off to the sidelines to receive the play from his coach. Ophil looking to the air here on this first down attempt, and he is misfired his man once again.
Yeah, nothing there, too. A bracket.
Tyler Ophil just having a horrible first half, this time intended for Kyle Campiotti.
Nothing there. Had him bracketed, had a man to the side, a man over the top for Foothill, rather their defense. I'm a little surprised he tried that pass. A little surprised they haven't tried to go to Williams here.
Yeah, Javon Williams, a speedster on this team. Campiotti, though, he is the guy that will get the ball and get it a lot. And a running play here on 2nd down.
Tried the sweep to Richards.
And James McGee says, not on my watch,
No.
as James McGee gets in and wraps Richards up in a hurry. Make that Jay McGee, I'm sorry. He's 6'1", 210 senior.
It's going to be difficult for Granada to come back with their wing tee offense. They're a run-first team. And with Ophil having some difficulties tonight.
Clock now at 15 seconds left before the half, 3rd and 13. It is Granados. No, they fake it to Granados. Instead, it's a toss along the far side.
They did end up giving it to him.
To, I believe, Soltis. Or Campiotti.
Campiotti, yeah.
Correction. Getting the carry there. He doesn't pick up the first down, and that will end the first half here from Granada Stadium in Livermore, California. So the Foothill Falcons will go into halftime with a 2-score lead, leading 14-0. They're posting a shutout on the team that has shut out 3 opponents this year in the Granada Matadors. They have 3 shutouts, but instead they're the ones getting shut out at the moment. Like I said, 14-0 is your score. So, folks, we'll be back in a few moments here with the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Don't go anywhere. You'll love some of the stories we've got to bring to you, most notably on the Foothill side of things. It's Friday Night Football here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. Welcome to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show, coming to you live from Granada Stadium on the campus of Granada High School here in Livermore, California. I'm Michael K. Smith alongside Tim Fitzgerald, and our halftime score has the Foothill Falcons, the visiting team, leading by a score of 14-0 over the hometown Granada Matadors, who are celebrating homecoming. They have the homecoming festivities. They've been having them going on here throughout halftime. And pretty cool, the homecoming queen got to ride in a pretty nice Porsche, all white, nice Porsche. And there hasn't been too much scoring, Tim, but what we have seen from this game is a lot of good defense. Foothill scored right away on their first drive of the game, and then their last offensive drive of the game, just before half, they got on the board twice. So let's talk about that first drive, though. A lot of mixing up, some running, some passing, some really good plays to keep the drive going.
They really came out firing, and like you said, very up-tempo. Boom, 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 just quick slants, the hook, a lot of first down slants, Hudson, Langley, enough to balance it, to balance out the run game. And I think that threw Granada off a little bit, coming out in the air like they did.
Sure, and it was Hudson who hauled in a deep fade route down the far sideline, got it down to the 1 yard line. They'd finish it off with a toss to Jameer Holland. I thought they were going to go Gates up the middle, but instead Jameer Holland, which I think Granada was expecting them to run Gates up the middle as well, so that's why Sweeney decided to change it up a little bit. Holland had wide open space to the left side, got in, easy 1 yard scamper, and that made the score 7-0 with the extra point good from Nico Cuero. Then we saw some really good defense. Granada couldn't get things going offensively throughout the whole first half. Ophil, like I said, the first three letters in his last name, O-F-F, that is what he has been tonight throwing the ball. He has been off, and in a horrible way. He has had an interception or two, I believe, but it was Foothill who got the ball picked off from them in their second offensive possession. A pass intended for Langley out of his hands and into the and we talk about Granada, their defense really to limit Foothill to 14 points I thought has been exceptional, because with all the playmaking talent that Foothill has, I would expect them to have a lot more points, especially when Matt Sweeney's saying this is the most talented team he's had. Granada's defense keeping them in this game, but it's just their offense has yet to really get anything going. I mean, we know that they're a run-oriented team, but Ophil has got to come up with some completed passes here in the second half.
And like you said, he's been under a lot of pressure. It's forced those rollouts, which have forced some incompletions from him and interceptions. This game has been about the turnover battles. A lot of drive-killing turnovers.
Drive-killing turnovers and drive-killing penalties, too. We've seen a lot of penalties from both squads.
Especially in that second quarter, And
it seemed like there was a lot of penalties for both teams, but the penalties really hurt Granada the most when it was all said and done.
Yeah,
and then,
especially as they were trying to gather momentum and come back, shot themselves in the foot.
Right, and then Foothill, like we said, gaining a little bit more momentum. Their last chance of having the ball before the half ended, they get a deep post, or a deep slant, if you will. It was about a shallow post, deep slant, about an 11-yard in slant. I'd say 13 yards maybe. Like I said, it's more of a post into the hands of Ray Hudson, and once he caught it, he just gave that stiff arm to
the rest,
to the defender there, and then broke free. That was Jacob Lutz, who he just gave a tremendous stiff arm to, broke free, untouched.
Self was shooken up on the play for a little bit. He got through a couple of guys and just took off. There was no catching him.
A 51-yard reception there for Ray Hudson made the score 14-0 with the extra point there, and that is what the score would look like and still looks like here going into halftime, as Granada would get the ball but couldn't really mount anything. They had a couple penalties that dropped him back, some losses on the run there, and nothing going there. Talk about some key alumni for both. We'll bring a little bit of Granada into the mix too. It is their homecoming. Let's talk. I mean, we talk about their running game, and you can't mention a Granada running game without mentioning maybe one of the best running backs to play here in recent memory, and that being Josh Atkinson, or make that George Atkinson. George Atkinson III. He was something else. He donned the number 1 here in his time with the Granada Matadors, and he plays for the 7th-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Last week in a big game against Miami, played at the Soldier Field, New Soldier Field in Chicago. George Atkinson III rushed for a career-high 127 yards on 10 carries, including a 55-yard touchdown, as the Golden Domers helped beat the Hurricane of Miami 41-3, and normally George Atkinson used as a kick returner, but got himself some runs
role
there
this past week, and it was impressive.
But we talk about alumni really shining through, And Foothill, well, they've had two. One on the unfortunate side, one of their biggest alums, Sean Mannion, who has done oh so well for the Oregon State Beavers, who are now ranked number 10 in the nation. Who saw the Beavers coming up to number 10 in the nation? They have played great ball. But, yeah, he injured his left knee last week against Washington State.
That was unfortunate.
And they're saying that he will be out for the rest of the year. It's going to require surgery. His dad co-coached this team at one point in time, had to take over for 1 year. Matt Sweeney, in his stint, had 1 year missing as he decided maybe he'll retire. But then during that year, it was killing him that he wasn't the coach for Foothill, and so he came back.
Sometimes you got to recharge those batteries with a little sabbatical.
Yeah,
when he's been around as long as he has.
So Mannion, we wish him the best of luck. Backup Cody Vaz is going to start this weekend for the Beavers as they play a non-conference game against BYU. And then, of course, the alum I was leading up to with all those hints and clues, that being, I'm going to blow it now, the shortstop Brandon Crawford for the San Francisco Giants, who advanced with a win yesterday against the Cincinnati Reds, 6-4 to score. The first team in the National League in baseball to come back down 0-2 in the division series and win it. And, you know, it was funny because Brandon Crawford had been struggling. Great defensive player.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the box he had been put in. Well, he's a great defensive player with limited offensive upside. But he has broken through those limits and really improved his offensive game. Ended up getting some really key hits in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and none bigger than the triple he had yesterday to start the fifth inning, which was a big one for the Giants. They end up scoring 6 to take a 6-0 lead.
Really broke that inning open,
Yeah, he drove in the first run, that being Blanco on that single. And Crawford, who has been a Giant fan all his life.
Yeah.
Growing up in the Bay Area. He lived in Menlo Park before moving to Pleasanton in the early 90s. And
I love that picture of him as a kid.
Don't you look at that one right there. Little guy holding up the sign to keep the Giants in Candlestick. And like I said, had a phenomenal career at Foothill where he batted .357 over a 3-year varsity career and then went to UCLA and batted .319 there. And came up with some big hits yesterday and helped his team advance. I mean, he is going to be a cornerstone guy for the Giants for many years to come.
Yeah, they've been looking for that shortstop. They kept trying to acquire other pieces, thinking they had to have an offensive piece to go with Crawford. Now he's turned into the complete guy.
Right, he'll be right there with Buster Posey and hopefully Brandon Belt if he can continue. Those should be 3 cornerstone guys for the Giants as they progress. And so, and we'll talk about try to get to the Sweeney story throughout the second half, if time allows it. Meanwhile, trying to look up some scores here around the area and both on PlayOn Sports. PlayOn score in the Sac Joaquin section, Del Oro leading 14-0 over Roseville. Del Oro kind of similar to San Ramon Valley. They had a very tough non-conference in which they went winless, and now that they've started league play up there in their section, they have really turned it on in their league, Del Oro in the Sierra Foothill League. As for games in the area, in the East Bay Athletic League, California had a 10-point lead at halftime over San Ramon Valley. 20-10 was the score in that one. Another game on PlayOn, Alameda and Piedmont was tied up at 7 at half. De La Salle leading Foothill's rival, the Amador Valley Dons, who Granada will play next in a second game of the Livermore or the Pleasanton Swing, as they play Foothill tonight, and then next week we'll have to go to Amador Valley. 27-10 though, De La Salle leading. That was with 6:05 left in the first half.
Starting to get to that point of the season, that middle of the year where everything starts to take shape and people climb to.
Yeah, if you don't get De La Salle early in the year, you're probably never going to get them. And like I said, Foothill had their chance last week, putting up the most points against De La Salle so far this season, 34-17. A pretty respectable score when you think about the pedigree of De La Salle. Really quickly, Tim, what are your keys to the game here as far as if Granada can make a comeback? Obviously, we know Ophil needs to complete the ball.
Yeah, more efficiency. Absolutely more efficiency out of Ophil. But the turnover battle. I mean, that's what's decided this game so far, and that's going to be what it's about. Who hangs on to the ball?
All right, folks, that's going to do it for our halftime show. As second half about to resume here at Granada Stadium on the campus of Granada High School in Livermore, California. Foothill will kick off. Granada will receive. Nico Cuero to kick off from the 40-yard line. It is a high kick driven towards the right side of the field, far side. The Matadors able to get a return. Not for a lot of yards, however.
Another short kick. And Foothill feeling the effects of their missing regular kicker on the kickoffs. Hasn't affected their extra points, but it's definitely affected their ability to drive the ball deep on a kickoff.
And so the Matadors will look to get some points on the board. They were held scoreless in the first half. Javon Williams split far out towards us, near side, but Granada opts to hand the ball off up the middle, and they pick up some yards.
Need to see a quicker tempo out of Granada. Need to see.
Yeah, Granada has been kind of lackadaisical, just getting plays in and kind of getting plays going forward.
Yeah. Foothill darts up to the line of scrimmage. Granada just kind of trotting up there a bit.
Yeah, very slow pace. 2 yards picked up on the run, makes for 2nd and 8 for the Matadors at their own 28-yard line. High pass is caught by Javon Williams on a short out route before he steps out of bounds. Not enough for the first down, but it is a completed pass for Ophil, and I think those are you need to get those for confidence at this point.
Exactly, Michael, exactly.
And a flag flies. We'll see what the flag is for. I'm still out of gas that that no one ever cleared whatever that pink debris is on the field yet. That's been there all throughout halftime. You got to get that off the field.
That's dangerous.
Someone could slip and fall over it. You never know.
No Mylar-related injuries out here. We don't want that.
Yeah, and the penalty there is going to be sideline encroachment. It's still going to remain 3rd and 6, and another flag flies before this play can get started. This time it's a false start against Granada, so the penalty trend continuing for the hometown Matadors.
A lot of wounds to the feet of the Matadors right now, shooting themselves in the repeatedly.
Cheerleaders down on the field with their Letterman jackets.
3rd and long, exactly the situation the Matadors did not need to start this half. This is not conducive to their offense.
Yeah, the penalty backed them up 5 more yards, so 3rd and 11 now from the 25-yard line, and it's a sweep give to the back there.
Yeah, number 22 on that one.
Casey Soltis. And Soltis not enough for the first down there. He'll be stopped plenty of yards shy of the first. It'll be 4th and 7. And so Granada will punt.
Putting more pressure on their defense again to hold off the explosive Foothill Falcons.
And the Matadors with a deep end-over-end punt, which is muffed by Ray Hudson.
Whew, he jumped back on it. It looks like he's got it. But, yeah, he let that thing hit his chest. Did not catch it cleanly.
Granada showing no fear in punting the ball right to Ray Hudson. They've done that a couple times tonight. And this time Hudson was caught off guard. That ball came in with a little zip.
It did. It was wobbling.
All right, so we will resume play now. 1st and 10.
Again, Foothill getting to start from outside their own 30.
Foothill, at their own 34-yard line. And it's Jameer Holland trying to spin away from some defenders there, and he will not do so.
Nowhere to go. Great penetration again by the interior line of Granada. That's certainly the facet of this team that is not letting them down right now.
That should be a loss of yards on that play. As Plachette, another guy for Granada who came back from injury this week. Actually came back 2 weeks ago there.
7 on that play.
Plachette, a captain who was honorable mention offensive lineman last year in the All-East Bay Athletic League. It'll be a loss of 8, 2nd and 18 for Foothill. Quick slant fired to Ray Hudson, in which he shows off his magnificent hands and makes the catch.
Again, shielding away the defender with the big body. Got a lot of those yards back.
That is one of the things he is known for, is using his body to make the catch.
It's going to bring up about a 3rd and 9 for Foothill. So each team having some trouble on their first possession and facing a 3rd and long.
3rd and 9. Ball at the 35-yard line for the Falcons, their own 35-yard line. And once again, it is a completed pass from Kearns to Hudson. Hudson with that deep slant. Once again, shallow post, deep slant. Call it whatever you like.
Yeah, he and Jameer Holland crossed each other.
So it was a receiver cross route there.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, it was Holland's coming out of the backfield, or rather from the slot, and it made the safety pay more attention.
So
25 than they wanted to, most likely.
Huddy picks up the first down there. 1st and 10 for the Falcons now, just a yard shy of midfield at their own 49-yard line. Toss left to Holland, and Holland, who appeared to get tackled back behind the line of scrimmage, got out of it.
He sure did.
Miraculously broke away from that tackle and retained good balance, and got the ball at least back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looked like 45. Christian Palomo had him stop back there and somehow managed to shed that tackle.
So the Falcons avoid losing yards on that run play.
Yeah, did manage to get right back to the line of scrimmage when they were staring down a loss of 6 at least.
And so 2nd and 10, Holland and Darrell Adams, the receivers, in on this play.
Nice
and
play.
Kyle Kearns tries to, for a 3rd time, to go to his man Ray Hudson on this drive. And this time Hudson cannot haul in the quick slant route.
Yeah, 35 on the
Quick
defense.
slant pass, I'm sorry.
Yeah, getting up and bumping this time, finally. Granada coming up and pressing these Foothill receivers. I believe that's John Poppy getting there and bumping and knocking that ball away.
So this game getting back to a physical nature, in which was predicated by the head coach, Matt Sweeney. He felt that this game was going to be a fist fight. And Granada's defense getting a little bit more physical, at least their DBs pressing the receivers. And Holland, who ran a deep out route, which would have been good for a 1st down had he caught it. But, yes, as Tim was alluding to, the ball was a bit high, slipped out of his hands, and was lucky that it didn't get picked off. We've seen something similar to that in the first half.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of time for Kearns on that one, though. That was a little surprising, and just sailed that one too high. He had him.
4th and 10 now for the Falcons. Ball still placed at the 49-yard line, and it is going to be the talented receiver Ray Hudson who will punt the ball.
Wow, high hanger.
High end over end, and it bounces, I believe, off a Granada punt return player.
Got real close to hitting number 24, Brandon Self.
That was Brandon Self, and the refs are going to say that the ball did not touch him, but
yeah, I don't think so.
From up here in the booth, it looked pretty close.
I'll say.
A la Kyle Williams, if you will, when talk about the Niners. They play the Giants, a rematch of this
coming up Sunday,
of the NFC Championship game coming up this Sunday, yes, at the Stick.
I got a good Giants friend who's going to come over to my house Sunday to hide and watch the game.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to stay out of the public's eye.
Go Niners. Hopefully revenge will be sweet for San Francisco. Back to this game, though. 1st and 10 now for Granada, who takes back to the field offensively for their 2nd time here in this second half. And they try a quick slant of their own.
Yeah, tried a screen to Javon Williams, and he wasn't able to handle it. A little high. A lot of pressure again as they let the Foothill defense come by to set up the screen. Foothill, though, not able to put it in the right spot.
2nd and 10 for the Matadors. And Brandon Self with his helmet off, talking to a player who is not in uniform down there on the sidelines. Speaking of uniforms, I'll have to give you the uniform in just a minute. But right now, a big run with some heavy potential for the Granada Matadors. And it's Casey Soltis.
Draw play right up the gut, taking advantage of the aggressive Foothill defense. Up 14, thinking they can just pin their ears back and get after him. Just darted right through the middle. Great cut to the outside, too.
Soltis picking up a huge chunk of yardage on that run play. Gets the ball just slightly past midfield. As the ball is placed at the Foothill 49-yard line, Soltis will take a breather after that hard run. Twin set here to the near side with one of the backs in motion going from left to right. And another big run for Granada. This time it is Matt Richards, one of the captains with a lot of speed. And he shows that speed, getting through the middle in a hurry.
Yeah, they sent the fullback, 34 Granados, in motion, right to left. Cleared that path for Richards. Great run again. 2 big runs in a row for Granada, starting to drive finally.
And they're using motion as decoys.
Mixing up their plays a little bit here.
Yeah. Changing a little bit of their look. Something that they didn't really do in the first half. They kind of stayed with the same look, play in, play out. Foothill, they've watched their tape. I'll put it to you that way. They were waiting on it.
Got to make some adjustments here when your offense is struggling.
That Granada has, at least to this point in this drive. 1st and 10 now for the Matadors at the Foothill 35-yard line.
Tried the same thing again. This time Foothill sniffs it out.
Soltis to the right side of the field, and Soltis hobbling as he gets up, make that Matt Richards, who is slow to get up and now is limping off to the sidelines.
Boy, that ankle has got to still be feeling pretty tender in his first bit of action in a few weeks.
So Matt Richards, after breaking off the big run, now falls down to his bottom here.
Yeah, he's going to need some attention from the staff.
2nd and 10. It is Campiati in motion on a bit of a fake dive.
Yeah, the trap.
Reverse trap route.
Yeah, the 46 trap basically there.
And Campiati will pick up good yardage there for his Matador team, who is down 14-0 right now with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Jersey report brought to you by Mike on the mic. Granada black jerseys, black pants, and that play being stopped before.
Got a timeout, Granada.
And so it will be Granada, and so I'll continue on their jerseys.
Burning a timeout early again, Michael.
Yes, they used 2 of their timeouts in the first quarter in the first half, leaving them with only 1 in the second quarter. And they're burning one of them now here early in the third quarter, stopping the clock with 6:03. But a little bit on their uniforms. Granada comes with the black uniforms, white numbers outlined in gold. Across the numbers on the front of the jersey, it reads Granada in capitalized font, also white outlined in gold. And on the shoulders is a 3-colored stripe, gold in the middle, surrounded by white on the outsides. That's on both shoulder pads. Underneath are the numbers.
Got that UCLA Bruin look on the shoulders, huh?
Yeah, and they continue with that same tri-colored stripe pattern running down both sides of the pants as well. It's a really good look, I say. No names on the back, but they always say the name on the front is more important than the name on the back. And their helmets, sorry about that, their helmets are a coal black with a yellow G on both sides. Back from the timeout, 3rd and 5 for the Matadors, and a hard charge run there will be close for a first down. That was Casey Soltis with the carry.
Lowering his shoulder and delivering the boom at the end of that run. Good, strong finish. Determined to get that first down. Again, the Matadors using that motion from the fullback.
And Soltis with good agility and, like you said, that boom. And he picks up the first down. A very hard-charged run there.
Hopefully that'll fire up the rest of this offense. Yeah, exactly.
1st and 10 now for the Matadors. Ball at the Foothill 24-yard line. The Matadors getting close to knocking on the door here. Run up the middle with Tyler Granados, the fullback. I'm sorry, make that Derek Granados.
Sticking with that power run game. Have made their way downfield with it. Breaking off a couple of big runs. Still churning away up the middle, trying to wear down that Foothill D.
Granados gaining 3 on that carry. It'll be 2nd and 7, ball at the Foothill 21-yard line, and it's Soltis who is stacked up front by the Foothill defense.
Cody Shields again. Getting penetration all day in this game.
And if Cody Shields keeps up, he will be someone to watch for our player of the game interview.
Absolutely.
He has really been all over the field, making defensive stops for the Foothill Falcons. 3rd and 7 for the Matadors. Javon Williams, receiver in close to the line, near side, and it's a sweep run with the man in motion from right to left. That, I believe,
Soltis again.
is Soltis.
Yep. Trying that motion jet sweep. Looks like you got a few. It's going to set up about a 3rd and 7.
There is a penalty flag on the field. We'll see what the men in stripes call here.
Does not look good for Granada. Spot putting it a hold, yep.
And so a holding call against Granada will back them up and really take them out of field goal territory if they were to go for a field goal.
They just can't keep doing this to themselves. The offense isn't built for this, and to put themselves in a 3rd and extremely long, already looking at a 3rd and sort of long.
Yeah, 3rd and 7 was manageable.
Yeah.
Now they're at 3rd and 16 after the penalty. Ball at the Foothill 30-yard line, and it's a little trickeration as the give goes to Campiotti, who throws down the field for his intended target, Javon Williams. Williams tripped up, and that had some of the fans getting impatient, thinking that there was a pass interference call there against Foothill, and indeed a flag does fly as they saw the contact.
I thought their feet just got tangled, but he must have had some upper body contact there. Flag thrown. It's going to be a 1st down. Boy, did Granada need that.
It was a mini toss from Ophil to Campiotti to the right side. Campiotti was throwing all the way on the halfback toss there.
That's his 3rd attempt, I believe, this season.
And Campiotti looked to have thrown a pass that was online had Williams not got tripped up.
Yeah, it was a good toss. And they had a couple people open on that.
Yeah, beautiful spiral on the pass there from Kyle Campiotti. And so, with that penalty, and of course Javon Williams, the man who was tripped up, he's clapping it up. He's excited. He'll take his helmet off as he jogs over to the sidelines, happy that he drew a penalty this time for his team, not one against his team.
Yeah, still hasn't caught a ball tonight, but at least that speed created a threat there.
And he's going to get some water now. 1st and 10 for the Matadors after the penalty on the Foothill 15-yard line. A run with Richards, far side, and Richards trying to run away from the Foothill defender there.
Tried the motion sweep to the right this time.
And
Nick Mendoza
making the leg tackle there on Matt Richards.
Great wrap-up.
Javon Williams looking to get back onto the field as he picks up his helmet. 3 receivers come off from the sidelines and onto the field. Yeah, those like being Soltis, the quarterback Ophil, and number 85, that being Robbie McLeod, a tight end for this year's Matador team, 6'2 senior.
Yeah, they may try to spread, as much as Granada would spread things out a bit.
2nd and 8. I don't know, this is similar to when the Niners go jumbo here, and that indeed they will do. They'll run the ball. Yeah, you know, when the Niners put in their big boys up front, all their tight ends, their linemen, as they ran with 2 tight ends on that play. And so they do pick up some positive yards with that jumbo-looking set. It'll be 3rd and 5 now for the Matadors, who are now really knocking on the door. They are at the Foothill 10-yard line.
And finally a manageable 3rd down again.
And at worst, they should at least get a field goal try if they don't capitalize on the 1st down here for a potential field goal, which would at least get them on the board. They have yet to get on the board. A bagel sits in front of their name on the scoreboard. 3rd and 5, and a handoff to Richards. Make that Casey Soltis on the toss. Far side. Another horizontal run for Granada, and they need to start trying to run the ball up the middle. They've had more success up the middle so far here in the 2nd half. These horizontal runs, Foothill has too much team speed for that.
Especially in this part of the field. Too difficult to try to go side to side once you're down at the 10-yard line.
Right. It's already hard enough to score as it is when you're down there, let alone runs that are just going
Yeah.
side to side, not really getting anywhere.
Not showing much faith to put the ball in Offill's hands.
Granada not picking up any yards on that run, and so it forces them to call a timeout with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. 14-0 is your score. Foothill still with the 2-score advantage, and I'm going to toss it over to Tim for a quick ad.
Yes, it's time for the Promote the School broadcast program. Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, like the game you are enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School broadcast program. The program allows schools to broadcast all of their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
All right, thank you, Tim. Like I said, Tim Fitzgerald joining me alongside in the booth as my analyst, Zach Farmer, the videographer, and Vincent Wergis, our videographer here. The PlayOn Sports crew, live from Granada Stadium. Some East Bay Athletic League action. Both teams in dire need of a win. I'd say Granada more in need of a win.
Yeah. In need of some points here. Going forward on 4th and 5.
As Granada has yet to pick up a league win. 4th and 5. Foothill rolling to his left. He has a receiver and it's caught. Did he get into the end zone before going out of bounds? The catch was made by Kyle Campiotti, but I believe Campiotti stepped out just an inch shy of the end zone line. Oh my goodness.
Do manage to move the chains though?
He did move the chains. He did pick up a first down, but you have got to recognize he was wide open. There's no excuse for why he couldn't wait before getting into the end zone, but maybe momentum just carried his feet out of bounds.
Yep.
First and goal from, like I said, the inch line there.
And this play never happened, apparently.
Another play being whistled and stopped prior to it getting progressed, and actually he stepped out.
Offsides.
He stepped out a bit earlier than I had thought.
Yeah,
he was at the 3-yard line. I thought he was closer in.
This half the distance of the goal, and the offsides will put him down to the 2.
So it will be first and goal at the 2-yard line. I'm sorry for the mistake there, folks. Didn't mean to get on the senior running back too much. But, yeah, it was impressive the whole play that at least they capitalized, and Foothill completed a pass. And this time, first and goal from the 2, and Granada punches one in. It took them till 1:49 left in the third quarter, but the hometown crowd finally has something to cheer about as 6 points are put on the board courtesy of the Granada Matadors.
Finally, points, and finally a situation that they could run to their strength, punching it right up the gut. It wasn't on the 4th down attempt. I got to say, we've been dogging Foothill for a while, but to roll left and to complete that pass, a great job. If you can at least keep progressing or get hot at least for a little while in the situations they do throw, even though they're going to ball control, it'll certainly help out. Whew, barely got that extra point in, too.
Well, he had 3 Falcons looking like bulls there chasing the Matador, and he was able to do some ole and get away out of the way of the Falcons as he eluded them, was able to fire a pass for his target there, which was Campiotti, who made the catch. Wide open, picked up the first down, got him down to the 3. A penalty, of course, helped him get closer, and then they punch it in with the run up the middle there, and the extra point good to make it a 14-7 score.
Yeah, good for Granada to get on the board, make this a 1-score game again. Desperately needed some points there. Now hopefully they can have their defense make another stop, or force another turnover. They're going to need to keep this momentum going.
So it was Granados who punched it in.
Yep.
Derek Granados, the senior, 5'6", 205 pounds. I got to have love for a guy like that.
Indeed.
The little guy getting it in.
The little big man, the fullback, punches it in.
That's right. And so now it makes this game a lot closer. 14-7 is your score. Trevor Mays returns a short kick for Foothill.
Yep, and he
spins off some tackles and then is pushed out of bounds, and a flag flies late at the end of that return.
They're going to call late hit out of bounds. It seemed like his feet were still in, though.
Well, we'll see if that's the call. That's what we think up here in the booth, but there's no official call made.
Sure is, though.
And, yeah, it is going to be a late hit out of bounds against the Matadors, so that'll aid the Falcons.
Tough call. It just seemed
drive.
like they were being aggressive, trying to, the guy is fighting for yards. He's already broken one tackle. He's spun off another. You got to finish that play. Unfortunate when aggressiveness results in a penalty versus just a mental mistake.
Kearns dropping back to pass. He has a target.
Swung it out to Hollis.
It was Jameer Holland who had looked to bobble the ball as he was running with it on that halfback swing pass route, which they have dialed up a couple times tonight. The Foothill coaching staff. It does pick up a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Falcons now. Ball directly at midfield at the 50-yard line, placed on the far side hash.
Good tackle by number 51, Kovacs.
Yeah, Dominic Kovacs making the play. Receivers split on each side now. Actually, 2 receivers to the left side. They set up a fullback screen for Gates, but it is Kearns whose pass sailed high.
Another flag down in the secondary this time.
And we'll see what this call is.
Yeah, they tried to set up the fullback screen. It could be an illegal man downfield. Seemed like the linemen were a little further ahead before this ball was thrown. Nope, this one's going to be on the Matadors. Moving it back big time.
A defensive holding. Actually, it's going to push the ball forward is what it's going to do for Foothill. No.
Okay.
And now they're getting it right. Yes, it is a holding call against Foothill. So, yes, the ball
that made a
will
lot
be
more sense. All right.
backed up. Yeah, Kyle Campiotti was like, what are you guys talking about, man? He's like, that was clearly on Foothill, man.
Yeah, the refs have had an eventful night this evening.
Yes, they have. They have had a lot of calls to make.
Yeah, they've played a big part in this game.
If my dad were here, he'd probably be yelling out replacement refs. That's what he's been doing at the Cal games when he's heard a bad call. Wasn't that embarrassing for a short period of time for the NFL? I mean,
good thing that's
referees
over.
are going to make bad calls, but yeah, good thing that is over and done. 1st and 10 now for Foothill after the penalty drops them back to their own 45-yard line. And
goodness gracious. Yep, another flag.
An arrow route intended for Ray Hudson along the outside is incomplete, but flags fly again.
Interference or illegal contact most likely coming here.
Yeah, that would look to be the case. And at some point, you just got to let these guys play.
Yeah, I would agree. I would wholeheartedly agree, especially in a game that's going to be this physical. I understand the refs want to take control, especially when this game got a little chippy in the second quarter. But nonetheless, these aren't a whole lot of personal fouls or poor conduct penalties. A lot of ticky-tack calls on the contact.
So Foothill, after being backed up on a holding call, now gets pushed forward.
More free yards for Foothill.
1st and 10 at the Granada 40-yard line, and Kyle Kearns.
No time for Kearns to do anything there. Big sack by the Granada D.
Grabbed and brought down.
Lutz leading the pack again.
Yeah, it was a combination of Jacob Lutz and also Christian Palomo in on the tackle. A duo effort.
And that was on a quick drop, too. That was a little 3-step drop, looking to hit
I know
another
Reese Beckman was definitely giving some pressure as well.
So that is all on the Granada D, getting great penetration that time.
So now 2nd and 16 for the Falcons.
Yeah, they're setting
Just
up in the trips right.
Bunch of up and down, back and forth. Ray Hudson on the receiver screen, gets some blocking, makes some moves. As he catches the pass, the short pass, and turns a pretty good return out of it.
Yep, wide receiver screen, dodged one tackle. Luckily, barely tackled around the ankles.
An entertaining 7-yard return on the catch from Ray Hudson.
Yeah,
gets the ball a yard in front of the original line of scrimmage before the third quarter comes to an end. So the third quarter bell has rung here on the scoreboard, and now all the Granada players holding up 4 fingers as it is fourth quarter. It's do or die time for both the Matadors and the Falcons, more so for the Matadors, who trail by 7 right now. 14-7 is your score. Here live from Granada Stadium on the campus of Granada High School in Livermore, California. Michael Smith, Tim Fitzgerald giving you the broadcast. You're listening to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Yeah, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We are now everywhere, Play On Sports, on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands, and I mean thousands, of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week. For your destination for high school sports, it's PlayOnSports.com.
All right, thank you there. Close game in the EBAL here in front of us, 14-7 as we resume from the break in between quarters. And yeah, oh boy is right. Griffith Gates.
Right up the
trouncing past the Granada defense there.
Way too big of a hole to allow for him to get through.
Yeah, a great hole opened up by the offensive line in front of him. A fullback dive was the play.
And then made some moves downhill, downfield.
Yeah, Griffith Gates with a lot of hard running there. Picks up a first down and then some. It's 1st and 10 now for the Falcons at the Matadors' 25-yard line. Kearns, quick pass as he screens one out to his receiver there, Isaiah Langley. No blocking setup in front of Langley this time, where the other receiver screen a couple plays ago to Ray Hudson had him doing a quick slant and then with blockers in front of him. This was just a quick out to the
wide receiver.
Langley.
Yeah, they just tried to take advantage of some off coverage, but Granada closed in very well that time. Again, Brandon Self doing a great job against these dangerous Foothill receivers.
Twins near side, one receiver far side. Kearns with about a 7-yard drop back. And he completes a pass to Griffith Gates, who is still on his feet. Griffith Gates.
The screen to Gates this
who
time.
Ran through about 2 tackles.
Sure did.
After making the catch on the fullback screen, and he picks up a first down and more for the Foothill Falcons.
Looked like he was going to be stopped after about a gain of 6 or 7. Broke one set of tackles. Looked like he'd be stopped for a gain of 10. Broke another tackle.
And what a close game in the East Bay Athletic League between California and San Ramon Valley. 34-31. Cal barely hanging on to a 3-point lead. Like I said, San Ramon Valley's offense is pretty high octane, and they are showing it as they were down 27-14, and now they have stormed back to make it a 34-31 game at the end of the third quarter in that one. And former California quarterback Quinn Kaler leading his DVC Vikings. I know it's a community college game, but figured I'd point it out being that he's an alum of Cal, 27-7 in his game. Another game on PlayOn. Alameda and Piedmont tied at 14 at the end of the third quarter in that one. 1st and 10 for the Falcons on the Granada 15-yard line. It's a run up the middle.
Yeah, the big fullback again gets a few.
Gates picks up 3 on that carry. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Came out in a tight formation that time, did Foothill. Getting in the red zone, and it's time for them to go jumbo.
The Falcons with the most simple and plain jerseys you'll see in the Bay Area. They are known for those jerseys, though. They have had the same jerseys for quite a long time. It's Kearns to pass here on 2nd and 6. He gets away from some defenders and continues to keep backing up. And finally just has to throw the ball away.
Yeah, the Granada D sniffed out the swing to Jameer Holland this time. Second time. Earlier it resulted in a pick by number 23 Richardson. This time they forced Kearns to scramble and scramble. Not a smart idea for him there.
In the words of Chris Boomer, it was back
exactly.
For Kyle Kearns as he was just trying to get away from the pressure.
Got out of the pocket, but I don't know if he got the ball to the line of scrimmage. A lot of the fans demanding that grounding call here. Did manage to toss it away, though.
The ref's not calling that. It is something good to bring up there, Tim, and it will be 3rd and 6. With 4 receivers all together on the field, no one in the backfield for Kearns and the Falcons. Kearns with a quick pass completed to, I believe, his tight end, Jack Finney.
Jack Finney.
Finney just coming across on a tight end cross route across the field from the left side to the right side over the middle.
Drug a defender with him for another 5,
tight end
6
drag
yards.
route.
Yep, drag route and then drag the defender.
Yeah.
And that set up a 1st and goal. Boy, down to the 2 now. Just when Granada was starting to get back in this thing, a big drive here from Foothill. And they're looking to put a nail in the coffin, perhaps. Still a little under 10 minutes to go, but this would give them a grip on this game.
1st and goal from the 2-yard line for the Falcons. The lone receiver is Hudson. Way split
Touchdown.
out here on the near side. And it's to no avail as
Griffith
they
Gates
hand
off
the
the
ball
right
off
side.
to Gates, and Gates picks up his first score of the night. So we've seen scoring from all the 3.
Yep, the big 3
The
of
big
Foothill.
3, of Griffith Gates, Jameer Holland, and Ray Hudson. They have all gotten involved in this one. And we still have fans clamoring for that intentional grounding call.
I understand it didn't get back to the line, but
the refs are not going to go back in time and change this one. It is now 20-7 with the clock stopped at 9 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the 4th. There is still plenty of time.
There sure is, but now a 21-7 ball game. We saw how Granada struggled down 14 earlier, just took a long drive to chip and work their way downfield just to cut it to 7, and then now have Foothill answer right back. They're going to have to avoid being deflated by this. They're going to have to stay up, basically.
Continuing on about the Foothill jerseys, like I said, they are pretty plain, but hey, sometimes it's not the flashy jerseys that
all you need,
makes you a good team, and they have been a great team for a long time. Matt Sweeney leading this program. An overall record of 214, 73, and 5 in his 23 years. That was including everything so far this season. He's one of 70, or actually with the wins this season, it's 217 wins, which puts him in a 3-way tie for 49th place all time in wins in the state of California. So if he can get a win tonight, he might move out of that tie as he's tied with someone who's retired from the coaching game, that being Ed Lloyd. And a current coach is tied with him in John Carroll from Oceanside High School in San Diego. Jeff Kurtz probably knows a lot about him. And
big return
a big return for Granada, as it is Soltis, I believe, on the return.
They needed that. Boy, did they need that. Finally, a big play on special teams, all the way out to what looks like the Foothill 44, 45-yard line.
Once again, Foothill going with a sky-high shallow kick in which Soltis hauls it in and then gets a pretty determined return there. Bringing the ball all the way out to the Foothill 49-yard line.
Just across midfield. Again, the kicking game on the kickoffs hurting Foothill.
And look at this, a 4-receiver set for Granada. Trips to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side. It was a delayed draw up the middle.
Yep, tried to go to Richards, no avail. Just sniff that out.
2nd and 15 is Richards tackled for a loss of 5 yards.
Foothill did not buy the widespread formation. And here comes Richards limping off again.
Delayed draw gone bad, and yes, Richards will limp off the field.
It's been a recurring theme for him this evening in his first game back.
Twin set, or make that trip set again, this time near side. Ophil is going to pass. A deep pass to a wide open target. The catch is made by Casey Soltis. So Soltis with the excellent return.
A big imprint on this drive.
And now gets himself wide open. And it almost looked as if that pass was a shallow pass intended for a different receiver. But
now he chucked that down. He
Casey
rolled out.
Soltis was in the area and made the catch.
Escaped the pressure again. More pressure, forcing the rollout by Ophil. This time on target. Nice spiral downfield.
And for the first time, Granada is in a hurry-up fashion here as Ophil did not go off to the sides to get the play from the coaches. He hurries the ball up to the line of scrimmage and then hands the ball off to Granados.
Yep. Little big man again.
Derek Granados picks up 2 on the run. And now the Granada cheerleaders really getting the Let's Go Granada chant going. They're trying to fire their fans up. Still plenty of time left in this game, but it is in the fourth quarter. About 8 minutes here left as we're approaching the 8-minute mark. 2nd and 8 from the 22-yard line. Ophill's going to keep it himself, and he is going to get sacked for a loss of yards.
Design rollout. Nothing
Christian
there.
Palomo in on the sack. No, I'm sorry, that's the Granada number 45. The 45 is Griffith Gates for Foothill.
Doing it on the other side of the ball this time. Middle linebacker making a play. Design rollout, just nowhere for him to go. No, the blocking was not there.
Griffith Gates, who is like Patrick Willis in a way from the Niners or any good tackler. Once he grabs a hold of you, he's not really going to miss at that point. He will bring you down. And an excellent tackle made in the backfield there.
Here's the trips right again.
Trips right. 3rd and 15. Ophill with about a 5-yard
flag.
Drop back.
Yep,
throws the ball to Casey Soltis. Soltis does not catch it, but then is furiously.
Defender got on him a little too early, though, hence the incompletion. That is pass interference.
Yeah, furiously asking for a flag, and a late, I mean extremely late flag was thrown there.
Which is surprising because it was pretty obvious. He grabbed his left shoulder there a little too soon. Maybe just had a little trouble getting it out of his pocket.
And now the Granada band director is firing up his band to get loud. Not with their instruments, but with their voices. So after the pass interference call in which the Falcons defender was draped all over Soltis, it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Matadors at the Falcon 14-yard line. Matadors trying to bring this one within a score. And it's a Soltis run up the middle, still on his feet, and he falls into the end zone.
Wow, what an impressive run.
The refs haven't signaled a touchdown yet, but I'm sure they will.
I think he's a couple of yards short on this one. Yeah, he's about a yard short.
Casey Soltis sauntering towards the end zone.
Dragging tacklers with him this time. It has been his drive for big number 22. He has had put his fingerprints all over this one. And they took advantage of a blitz this time.
Casey Soltis.
By Foothill.
Well, the refs are saying that Casey Soltis' knee might have grazed the field before the end zone at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal from the 3, and they are going to try to give it to the guy who's been getting them going on this drive, Casey Soltis, but this time he is wrapped up with his legs.
Yeah, Foothill all over that one, knowing they're trying to go back to the hot hand, Granada would.
So a loss of 2 yards on the run play there for Granada results in a 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Clock ticking down to 6 minutes and 10 seconds here.
This would be a good down to do a play fake, to try another rollout, much like the one that picked up the first down on the 4th and 5.
Right, like the Campiati play, which saved their drive, converting that
straight
4th
drop
down.
Instead.
Ophill will throw, and Jameer Holland steps in front just
breakup
at the right time. Yep. Puts his arm out there and deflects the pass, which was intended for Kyle Campiati.
Yeah, Foothill dropped back that time. They expected the pass too, had everybody back in the zone.
Jameer Holland, who was a top performer at the B2G NorCal Underclassmen Showcase.
Playing some real good cornerback tonight along with running back. In fact, he's played better defense tonight than anything, I would think.
Yeah, if he goes anywhere at the next level, it will be to play cornerback.
Corner, yep.
So 3rd and goal from the 5.
Oh, bootleg.
Fake.
Ophill.
As Ophill has it himself and catches everyone off guard. Touchdown, Granada! Casey Soltis keeping it himself on the play action give. Wide open as Foothill did not see that one coming at all.
Smart call. Quarterback bootleg, design keep again. Great run.
And that play was similar to Alex Smith's quarterback run against the Saints. Yeah.
Smart call. It got, everybody biting on the run game right up the middle, which they've been doing all game.
So the bootleg is successful on a 3rd and goal from the 5. Tyler Ophill making something happen with his legs, as he's had a hard time making something happen with his arm, although he did have a couple of passes there on that drive. That one to Soltis being the really big play that sticks out in my mind because it kept this drive going. Soltis wide open, but really Soltis was the guy in that drive.
He sure was.
He had that great return to start it off and then some really big runs.
Yeah, he put the team on his back on that drive. The special teams, the return, and then the runs to get down to the red zone. And Foothill, now 2 good series in a row. The completions when they need them, and all that running, setting up the bootleg. So we're back to a 7-point game again, just under 6 minutes left. We're getting the slugfest we expected again, Michael.
Oh, yeah. Well, Cal Preps predicted this one at 34-17 in favor of Foothill, but I don't think Foothill's even going to come close to scoring 34. As they're at 21 right now, and this has been a really drag-out affair. The band really starting to amp it up.
Yeah, the homecoming
crowd. The fans
crowd.
all on their feet.
Homecoming crowd.
It is homecoming. And Granada kicking the ball off from all the way on the near side hash, not directly in the middle of the field.
Tried to angle that kick across the field, forced a fair catch out of Foothill.
Some other PlayOn sports scores. It's 37-6. Valley Christian up in the third. And Alameda and Piedmont is tied at 21 in the fourth quarter.
Big defensive stand needed here by Granada. Foothill, if they convert 3 to 4 first downs, this will be difficult for Granada to come back and salvage this homecoming.
Tight twins here along the near sideline for Foothill. And
a drop.
And Kyle Kearns' pass.
Griffith Gates dropped one. You don't see that often.
Yeah, dropped by Gates. He usually has sure hands.
Took his eyes off of it. Yeah, he tried running before he had that thing.
So it will be 2nd and 10. The ball was deflected by a lineman, so that's why the throw perhaps was hard to catch for Griffith Gates. Is maybe it had a funny spin to it when it got to him.
Yeah, that is a good call.
Once again, receivers lined up close to the lineman here on a 2nd and 10, and an over-the-shoulder post corner pass complete to Ray Hudson from Kyle Kearns.
So difficult
past
to
the
defend.
First down marker.
So difficult to defend that guy. Got up above 2 defenders.
We have a fan screaming to go up and get the ball, but I don't think anyone could go up as high as Ray Hudson, 6'4".
Right.
I mean, I'm going to try to spot the Granada roster and see if they even have anyone 6'4". I don't think they do. It'll be first
Certainly
and 10.
Certainly not playing cornerback, maybe on the interior of the line.
1st and 10 for Foothill at the Granada 39-yard line. And it's Jameer Holland twisting and turning and trying to get away from the Matadors there.
Yep, kept turning those legs, trying to keep moving, keep the clock running. Exactly 5 minutes left in this game.
And the tallest players on Granada's team are Reese Beckman at 6'3", and Nicholas Plachette at 6'3". Both of them, like you said, they play on the defensive line.
Foothill.
A 2-yard pickup from Holland will make 2nd and 8.
Foothill letting this play clock run down, trying to chew up as much time as they can.
They have the ball at their own 41-yard line. Like you said, they're trying to run off as much clock as possible, hold on to this victory as long as they can.
Nice
Another
play.
pass.
Boy, another ticky-tack interference
for Ray
call.
Hudson.
I think they're going to call this on number 35 of Granada. He was hanging with Hudson. I mean, they're touching each other. There's some hand-to-hand contact, but when do you not see a little hand fighting on a fade route down a sideline or a seam? This did not seem abnormal to me. Ref's calling a real tight one here.
Ray Hudson wasn't tight coverage, but maybe a little too tight. And so the refs will push the ball forward for Foothill on the pass interference call. So now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons past midfield in Granada territory. They have the ball at the Matadors' 45-yard line. Hudson and Langley, both receivers, split out far side. Gates and Holland in the backfield, and a timeout now taken by Granada. That is their
Foothill.
Or actually, Foothill taking the timeout. I'm sorry. For Foothill, that is their first timeout taken here in the second half. They will have 2 remaining compared to Granada's 1.
I'm sure Granada welcomes this stop of the clock, although it was already stopped with the interference and the incompletion. But a timeout burned. Time for that Granada defense to do what it does. But boy, Foothill working it with their big 3. Just keeping that ball moving. A lot of options, basically. You know, Kyle Kearns, we talk about how accurate he is, but his weapons make his job so much easier for him.
Yeah, we talk about Granada's defense and how well they've done this year. Haven't fared so well in league. Giving up 21 points to Monte Vista. Or 48 points to Monte Vista, 22 to San Ramon. De La Salle, who used to be in the league, is now an independent. They gave up 48 to them. But they had 2 shutouts in their non-conference games, 28-0 scores against both American of Fremont and Skyline of Oakland. And Griffith Gates with the ball handling duties here. Drags about the whole Matador defense with him. He takes about a good 5 Matador defensive players with him.
The yards after contact for the big man.
Yeah, that's a demolishing run there by Gates. That has to just
Another first down. That's 3. 1 more, and this is going to be real difficult for Granada.
That's the type of run that just crushes the heart and soul.
Yeah.
Of this Granada team. Yeah, wearing them down mentally and physically.
Hands on their knees on the interior line. They're gasping for air.
1st and 10 now for the Falcons at the Matador 33-yard line. Once again, it's Langley and Hudson, the 2 wideouts. Split far to the right side. Griffith Gates.
Just a couple that time.
Through the left guard center gap. And they're just going to keep giving it to the big fella, I guess.
Yeah.
Have him just rip runs up the middle.
I don't blame him. I'm sure you don't either, Michael.
No, I don't. I don't. Not from what I saw last year covering Foothill's season in whole, and from what I've heard about them so far this season and seen tonight.
Yeah.
No, that is a very, very smart decision if you're Matt Sweeney and the Foothill Falcons staff.
So 2nd and 8. We'll see if on this down or if they come up to a 3rd down, do actually try to put the ball in the air again.
Griff is in the backfield along with Holland, and Foothill will call a 2nd timeout.
Running another timeout. Granada will welcome that.
Clock stops with 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Each team now with a timeout remaining. 21-14 is the score. Foothill leads really quickly their uniforms. White uniforms with just plain blue numbers on the front and on the back, no names. Plain yellow pants, no stripes at all going down the pants or anything like that. And just plain blue helmets with a gold face mask. But they, like I said, plain works for them. They've won a lot of games.
The offense is not plain, so that certainly makes up for that.
Yeah. They've been to 4 NCS championships, have won 13 East Bay Athletic League Conference championships. Head coach Matt Sweeney, he's been involved in these type of games a time or 2 in the past. And that's an understatement. We're back from the timeout break. The give is from Kearns to Gates. Gates falls forward for about a yard or 2 on the run to the left. It will be 3rd down now for the Falcons. Clock down to 3 minutes left here in the 4th quarter.
Big 3rd down. Play of the game we're staring at right here, Michael.
The 4th and final quarter, and yes, you can say that the game would come down to this.
Yep.
Tim, you're right. With only a timeout remaining, if Granada does not get the stop here, you could pretty much call this one done.
Yeah.
And into the hands of Foothill. And it's
going to the big
Kearns to the other big man.
Hitting Hudson.
Ray Hudson. A 1st down completion from quarterback to receiver on the quick slant.
A dagger.
And that might have been the finishing blow.
Gonna need a stop here. Just 2.5 minutes left, though. Clock starts running again. Down to the 21.
Remember, folks, to stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. We'll try to have an interview with our player of the game, which right now I don't know who to choose.
Whew, yeah, that's gonna take a little thought. A lot of contributions from all over the place in this contest.
Yeah, they really have come from all over the place. A 4-yard pickup there on the run will make for 2nd and 6.
Tick, tick, tick. Foothill trying to ice this thing, trying to salt that clock away. Letting the play clock run.
Clock now down to 1:40.
Granada still has the timeout in the pocket. They'll probably save it for either the next play or before or right after 3rd down.
Ray Hudson split far out near side. Gates gets through the interior part of the defense of Granada, finds some open space, and I believe has picked up another 1st down.
That could be our nail in the coffin.
Griffith Gates.
Will Granada burn their final? Clock ticking down to a minute.
It'll now be 1st and goal at the 6-yard line for the Falcons. Clock under a minute.
You know, the
Offset
Matadors.
eye.
Yeah, Matadors got to try to strip this thing.
And it's Gates. Again, hard charging up the middle.
Down to the 2.
The big bruising fullback gets close.
Some of this Granada crowd starting to file out. The big homecoming crowd.
Big homecoming crowd leaving this one.
A great game, though. What a contest.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what happened tonight. Tough game to swallow if you're a Granada fan, as they had their chances.
Forced some turnovers, kept Foothill from putting up the expected, big points, the big 30 points. And it looks like
penalties killed them, though. I'd have to say penalties was, you'd almost want to give the player of the game to the refs in the way that the penalties have.
They sure contributed a lot in this contest.
But
victory formation
not
for
to take
Foothill.
away from the talent of the Foothill Falcons.
Yep, that was the difference.
21-14, the score. And the Foothill Falcons will finish this one with a win, and they now improve to 4-3 on the season. They pick up their 2nd conference win. Meanwhile, the Granada Matadors fall to 3-4 and are still winless in the conference.
Yep.
And for Granada, they're going to have to finish the second part of a Pleasanton slide, as they started with Foothill tonight at home, and then they will go on the road to play the Amador Valley Dons next week before finishing off with the last 2 games at home against California of San Ramon and Livermore. Meanwhile, for the Foothill Falcons, they will now, like I said, improve to 4-3, 2-1 in league play, which looks a lot better than 1-2, which could have been the case had they lost tonight. And they will return home next week for their final home game of the season against the San Ramon Valley Wolves. And then 2 tough road contests, as they will have to take on Livermore, the Cowboys of Livermore, and then their rivals, the Amador Valley Dons.
Doesn't get any easier from here. A lot more evenly matched contests. It's going to be more like what we saw tonight, basically.
Foothill has showed that they can play tough on the road, though. So, folks, this is going to do it for the end of the game here. So stay tuned, as we're going to try to get the PlayOnSports.com post-game show going. We'll wrap up all the action in our post-game show, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. That's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, the Foothill Falcons have defeated the Granada Matadors by a score of 21-14 on Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
All right, folks, welcome to the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. We're going to start it off with our Player of the Game interview, and our Player of the Game is none other than Ray Hudson, the talented 6'4" receiver for the Foothill Falcons. Thanks for joining us, Ray.
Thank you.
Ray, you've had a great game tonight. That doesn't, we all know that, but let's tell the fans a little bit more about your night tonight. You had that great fade route down the sidelines that set up the first score of the night. I thought you got in, but you were pushed out just a yard shy. And then, of course, you had that deep slant, shallow post, whatever you want to call it, a 51-yard reception is what it turned into for a touchdown. You just have a knack of just catching balls that are just completely out of the area. I mean, how is it to – I know, you got to bless your parents for giving you the genes, but how must it feel to just completely outbody anybody trying to cover you? I mean, no one in high school seems like they can cover you. It seems like the ball just gets thrown up, and you're going to come down with it anytime.
Well, first off, for any of that to even happen, my O-line is just amazing tonight. I mean, to get those balls off, they were rushing 5 or 6 the whole night, and we were keeping in 5, and that's just man-to-man blocking. They were doing a great job, and our quarterback was just putting it on me. So I was just making the easy catches, and I think just with my size right now, I was going to play college as a tight end. I think it's just showing through playing wide receiver on the corners that are smaller than me.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed so far, not only tonight but throughout the season with the maturity, the poise, the presence of just a sophomore quarterback, that being Kyle Kearns. I mean, he's really seemed to put the accurate ball out there for you and really give you some easy balls to catch. You've been here as a varsity starter since your sophomore year, as well as Griffith Gates, as well as Jameer Holland, Isaiah Langley now, and Kearns will probably get the chance as well. What have you told Kearns? I mean, what kind of advice and tutelage have you given him?
Just working through. He's got to really focus on knowing when he's right and wrong, kind of that situation. Sure. He's got to get his head on straight, and I think he's actually coming into his own now. I mean, he had a rough little start, and I think now that he's these past 2 games, he's really come into it. So I think his confidence is up now, and I think we've got a little thing going. So I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes from here. I'm sure I'll be watching him on Saturdays too.
Okay, so you guys are going to play San Ramon, who has a very tough offense. I mean, they're high octane. It'll be your last home game of the year next week at home. What's going to be the game plan against them?
Well, Sweeney's going to go in, watch film all night tonight probably, and we'll have a game plan tomorrow. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll throw a lot of stuff at them and see if we can stop that offense.
And really quick, senior year, let's just touch on that really quick for a moment. Sweeney, 25 years at the helm. You've got to be there and part of it, and especially that ceremony that they had in the season back a couple games ago, just what his mentorship has meant to you as a player and the great coach that he's been.
Sweeney, I actually said in another interview the other couple of days ago that Sweeney's pretty much, between him and my father, pretty much shaped me throughout my life so far. I mean, he's an amazing man, amazing coach, and everything that he's done is just downright. It's just fun to come out there and just sit there and watch him work out there. I mean, it's literally he's just having fun.
25 years of coaching. He said this is his most talented squad yet. How far do you think you guys can go this year?
Oh, I mean, we played De La Salle hard. I thought we could beat them. I mean, I'm sure we can go. I'm pretty sure we work hard and we don't make mistakes off the field and keep guys on the team. I mean, I'm sure we can go all the way.
All right, folks. Well, a guy that's going to transform into a tight end at the college level. He'll be going to California, to the University of California, Berkeley. Congratulations on that, Ray, and congratulations once again on another stellar night here at the campus of Granada High School. It's Ray Hudson, folks, our player of the game. He had a big touchdown reception and a reception that also set up another score, and he is definitely deserving of our player of the game tonight. We'll wrap things up in the rest of our post-game show coming up after this quick break. You're watching PlayOnSports.com. Your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
All right, folks, welcome back to Livermore, California, Granada Stadium, the site of the game we had tonight here at Granada High School, and it was the hometown team on homecoming coming up a bit short as they lose 21-14 to the visiting Foothill Falcons of Pleasanton. And what a game it was tonight.
It really was.
It was exactly what head coach Sweeney from Foothill described it as. It was going to be a fist fight between the two teams. It was going to get physical. It got physical out there. We thought we were going to see maybe a little bit more running out of Foothill, but they didn't need to. They passed the ball exceptionally well. Kearns, like I said, he looked as if he was an upperclassman, not really a sophomore out there. He had the poise of a player that's been playing for quite a while in varsity.
They showed a lot of balance on their offense and used the pass to set up the run tonight. It was a little different. They flipped their script a little bit, and I think it caught Granada off guard to start the game.
Using pass to set up the run. That's exactly what it was on the first score, is that big pass to Ray Hudson, set up the 1-yard touchdown run. And then later on in the first half, about with a minute left in the second quarter, they did have that pass, which for Ray Hudson, the 51-yard deep slant. He caught it. He broke free. He scored.
Big catch and run,
Big catch and run, 14-0 like that at halftime. And, I was thinking maybe they're just going to keep shutting them out, but Granada would make it a second half as they would score. Soltis doing a good job of bringing his team and getting them involved, had that big return. He got him a score later on in that drive. And then little would you know that the quarterback, Ophil, who was off tonight, didn't have his great game. We made that alliteration and joke a couple times. But he did manage to score a touchdown.
Managed to have a couple of good series there at the end, their 2 touchdown drives, and it just wasn't enough in the end, though.
Yeah, it wasn't enough, and then Griffith Gates would pound one in for Foothill. And like you said, the three-headed monster staying happy as they all get a score, that being Ray Hudson, Griffith Gates, and the new guy to the mix, Chamir Holland. Well, not really a new guy. He played last year too, but as far as now, he's an upperclassman, and next year his senior leadership is going to be huge for this Foothill Falcon squad. So
made their quarterback's job a lot easier. Having targets
they did.
Like that.
And like you said, as a sophomore, to have players like that to help him out make his job easier, make him look really good.
Indeed.
And so they will play their final home game next week against San Ramon, who was making it a close one with California. Check on the Twitter feeds and on Contra Costa Times for that score. But I think that's going to wrap it up from this one as we have come to an end with the post-game show. The game's been over. Fans are leaving. So, folks, we are going to wrap it up from Granada Stadium with the Foothill Falcons winning by a final score of 21-14. They spoiled a homecoming of the Granada Matadors. So for everyone involved, the producer, which is my man Zach Farmer, the videographer, which is Vincent Huergas, my guy right here, the analyst next to me, Tim Fitzgerald, I am Michael K. Smith saying sayonara from Livermore, California, as, like I said, once again, the final score, 21-14, the Foothill Falcons winning this one in a big fight. So we hope that you'll see us next Friday night on your destination for high school sports, that being PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.